Hey everyone, and welcome to part one of our three-part series called Leveraging LinkedIn for a More Successful Career in Financial Services. This is part one, how to optimize your LinkedIn profile for the jobs that you want. We're going to take you through three tactics that are going to drive more opportunities to come knocking at your door. So when a hiring manager or a recruiter does a search on LinkedIn, you want to come to the top of the list, and that's what we're going to show you today. So I'm Dennis Grady. I'm from the Career Advisory Group, and just a little bit about my background. I studied economics and finance, spent 6 years industry experience with Thomson Reuters and UBS Investment Bank, and then I recruited for the top investment banks, hedge funds, asset managers, and private equity firms in the world. Just the financial firms with the highest bars of entry you could possibly imagine. And then me and my partner pulled all of this experience together and began coaching people to launch and grow their careers in financial services. So we've been at this for a long time, and we've helped a lot of people in financial get into the positions that they want. Now, LinkedIn is absolutely the most important factor in your career right now. It's where all the recruiters are going to find talent, and if your profile is poorly or incorrectly done, it's going to reflect poorly on you, and opportunities are going to pass you by. So let's talk about what we're going to cover today. Number one, the 5 points that drive SEO, or search engine optimization, on your LinkedIn profile. That's right, SEO is not just for Google and websites. There's an SEO, there's a way to optimize your profile on LinkedIn for their particular search engine. Number two, we're going to talk about the relevancy default driver, which is the other major factor driving towards the top of the list when someone runs a search. And number three, we're going to talk about the importance of 3 degrees of separation. So that's an important one because you might be invisible to all of these recruiters that are out looking for talent like yourself. So first, let's start with optimizing your profile with keywords. So SEO is kind of an ongoing process based on your target career path, okay? And to figure out what your target career path is, there are 3 things that you can do. Number one, you can do research on job descriptions. So pull up the job descriptions for the jobs that you're interested to get into, and look at them. They don't need to be any particular level. It helps if it's dead on, but you can look at a general area and look at read them through and find what the key words are that you see repeated all the time, or that are brought to the surface, or made that they're obviously really highly important to those particular roles. And you'll see those common terms pop up over and over and over again in similar job descriptions. So that's one way to start figuring out what those keywords are that you need to optimize your profile for if you want to be found for those particular job descriptions. Number two, you could study LinkedIn profiles. So do searches on people that are in the roles that you want to be in and look at their profiles. So you can actually run a search the way a recruiter would do, and run a search on investment bankers or private equity analysts or whatever it is, and look at their profiles. Look at lots of them, because not everybody really builds them out very well. But look through their profiles and you'll start seeing commonalities. What are the common skill sets, the common backgrounds, the common experience that you see consistently through those profiles? And then number three, you take those key terms and turn around and run those searches and see who comes up in those searches. So what I want to do is tell you now, once you have those key terms and you want to start optimizing your profile for it, there are 5 places that are the most heavily weighted parts of your profile. So there are 5 places you need to put these key terms. Simple as that. Number one is your tagline and your headline. And we're going to look at this live. We're going to switch over to LinkedIn. I'm going to show this to you firsthand. Number 2 is current title and job description. Number 3 is past title and job description. Number 4 is skills and specialties. And number 5 is summary. So let's do that right now. Let's switch over to LinkedIn. So right here, this is my tagline or the headline. Okay? When a recruiter runs a search, there's two things that come up that they see in the list. My name and this, the tagline or headline. And this is also, number one, the most heavily weighted of the 5 spots that we're going to talk about in terms of optimizing on key search terms. So here I'm trying to optimize for career coaching and financial professionals, financial services, executive recruiting, okay? Number 2, current title or job description is right here. So here's my current title: career coach, career advancement, job launch. So these are all search terms that I'm optimizing my current title for. And then here's the current job description, okay? So I can include all sorts of key terms in there as well, and go beyond some of the specifics. So I can start going a little bit deeper into other terms. And then here's my past jobs. So some work that I've done in-house at different banks. So talent acquisition, I can put that into my title right here at my past jobs, and my past job description area here. These are also weighted not as heavily, but are also part of what will drive you to the top of the search results rather. And then down here we've got skills and endorsements. So these are all search terms as well, which you could have quite a few of them here. But this is getting down towards the end of our list of 5. And lastly, we've got summary. Let's back up here at the top. I have my summary here where I can include all sorts of other search terms that I want to be optimized for. Okay? So that's that. Let's switch back over, and I want to talk to you about the next piece. That's not the only part of the story. So it's not just about optimizing for those search terms. That's what you want to do first. And as an aside, never optimize for search terms that you can't deliver, okay? Because you're just going to blow up a lot of credibility very, 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 very quickly. So the next thing is relevancy, what I call the relevancy default driver, okay? So now when a recruiter or hiring manager runs a search on LinkedIn, they get a series of search results. And those search results are by default sorted on relevancy. Now, what does relevancy mean on LinkedIn? And this is a major dynamic that's driving people to the top of the search results. All right, there's 4 factors that will be incorporated with those search terms and drive you to the top of any search. Number 1, first level connections. Are you directly connected with that person running the search? Number 2, is your profile 100% complete? It really better be. Number 3, in common connections. And number 4, in common groups. Now, you can tell that LinkedIn is preferencing people who have a 100% complete profile and that are active on LinkedIn for a reason. The recruiters are a major user of LinkedIn. They're a major revenue driver for LinkedIn, and they want to deliver to them when they run a search. They want to deliver them good people that are using their profile and that have their profile built out, right? So they're leaning that way. So I'm going to show you a live example of that. Okay. So now if I run this search, let's just say fixed income analyst. And this is a search that a recruiter might do. They get a search across their desk. It says, well, we need a fixed income analyst. And they might just start by running this exact search to see who comes up on the list. All right, so here's my list of people. They're sorted by relevancy. And as you can see, who's at the top? First level connection, first level connection, first level connection. You can also see fixed income analyst is in their headline. Fixed income analyst is in their headline. Fixed income analyst in their headline. So you can see how all of these people with the words fixed income analyst are coming to the surface of my search. And they're also sorted by how I'm connected. So first level connections, then down here you have second level connections, okay? So what does that mean? Get connected, grow your connections and get connected to recruiters and hiring managers that are potentially looking for you. Number 2, make sure your profile is completed, okay? If we get down here, second level connections towards the bottom of the page, down here I've got 2 people who I'm second level connections with. They have fixed income analyst in their headline and their job title, but they don't have a picture. And since they don't have a picture, their profiles are not considered to be 100% complete. So that's driving them towards the bottom of this page, okay? Now groups, that's another factor. You can join up to 50 groups, and you should join all 50 groups. So I'm not going to click into each one of these and look at how we're connected through groups, but that's a factor that's driving people up this list for me. The other factor, so when we look, is common connections. So right here with Yulia, I have 13 shared connections. So she's only a second degree connection for me, but of the second degree, she's towards the top, largely because we have 13 shared connections versus, Jeff and I's second 2 shared connections. So, 2 shared connections down here. These we don't have as many in common connections. So you can see how all these factors are driving these people towards the top of the list. And LinkedIn, when recruiters are using LinkedIn, they'll use this as a means of, okay, where do I start calling? Let me call Jeff because we're connected directly, and LinkedIn says that he's the most relevant person for my search, okay? So there's one other factor here that we want to look at. Now, these are all second level connections, and if I started calling down this list, it's going to take me quite a while. Now, I likely will never get out to page 10 as a recruiter. But if I go out to page 10, I still have second level connections here. So we still haven't even gotten to the third level connections. Now, what does that mean? Third level connections are the next slide here that I want to tell you to never be more than 3 degrees of separation from the people that would be potentially looking for you. So super important, get as many connections as possible. And the reason is that if you're not at least 3 degrees separated from the person looking for you, you're invisible. So on that list of people I was showing you, I'll get out to 3 degrees of separation, and then thereafter, that person's invisible to me. I won't even see them. And frankly, the people I'll see are the first and second level connections. So a lot of people are very selective about who they get connected to and how many connections. And that's okay. You want to have quality connections and connections of people on LinkedIn that are people that you know. But I recommend, in your career's best interest, to grow your connections list as large as you can get it and set aside some time every single day to grow it. You're allowed 3,000 total invitations on LinkedIn in your lifetime. If you're 5 or 10 years into your career and you've sent out 2 or 3 or 4 or even 500, you've got a whole bunch of invitations sitting there on the table that you can send out to people and increase the number of connections you get and increase the chances that you'll come up higher in the list when a recruiter or a hiring manager runs a search. So super important, because if you're more than 3 degrees separated, you're essentially invisible. Okay? So what are the key takeaways that we learned today? Number 1, determine the keywords that you want to be found for and get them into your profile at those 5 points. But that's not all. Get connected to the right people to help drive you to the top of their searches. Get connected to recruiters, get connected to hiring managers, anybody that might be looking for talent such as yourself. And number 3, get connected to lots of people. A lot of people are super selective about it, and the reality of the situation is, to make LinkedIn work for you, just get connected to as many people as possible, and there's a lot of ways to do that. Okay? Never be more than 3 degrees away from anyone that is searching for you. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Coming up, part 2 of our 3-part series is what financial recruiters look for in your LinkedIn profile and why they'll decide to contact you, or maybe they'll just decide to click next and not contact you. And you don't want that. You want them to decide to reach out to you and suggest potential opportunities for you. So we're going to do that in the next part. I hope you enjoyed this. Put it to work, and I'll see you soon.